Oh, nice.
But I mean, mine's low enough, so it's cool.
Yeah, it's
I
actually...
didn't buy it. I was spamming there when Steam came out. I was one of those guys.
It's funny, I don't know if you remember, but I remember having this experience like, oh, the Steam thing, that's really cool, but like one of the most important things was the friends feature, and it was just like always down in the first couple of years. It's just like down for like months at a time. It was so annoying.
Yeah, man. I still miss it. When you used to get a message, the old sound.
Yeah. The old days. We've done a lot of sort of nostalgic ramblings here so far today.
Yeah. It's all good, man.
It's really cool.
It's all good.
Maybe it's a sign that we're getting old.
I'll never get old. Well, I'll get old. You'll get old before me. I've got them black jeans. I've got them African jeans, Dan.
Yeah, black don't crack.
I don't know about Indian jeans, though. You got Indian jeans.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's going to be a surprise.
What will Dan's Indian jeans do to his aging process?
It's just going to be a surprise, James.
Let us know on the Twitter. Photoshops are welcome and encouraged. So we are soon going to be starting this game. I think we're a minute. Oh no, Bentet's left the game again, so maybe he's having trouble. Why haven't Gambit given me a polo, man? I'm all about the polos. I have so many polos that I don't have enough cupboard space to put them in. So I want more polos. I want a Gambit polo. You hear me, people? I know you're right there watching.
The thing is, like, I feel like with the polos, you have to be on top of your like starch game because you got to starch those polos, because otherwise, like, the collars will get all kind of weird and misshapen.
I'm a caveman, Dan. I can't be starching stuff.
I know that's the
I put in machine. I press button. I take from machine. That's how I roll. Ain't no starch here since my science lessons. Starch and iodine.
It's like when I had my shirt dry cleaned for the very first time. I was like, so which level of starching would you like on that? I was like, ooh, what is this? Don't mind if I do. I had no idea about that
question. Clearly, they think I'm an idiot. I don't know if we've mentioned it yet, but like Captain Mo is walking again. I think that's important.
That
because
is fantastic.
When we were in Shanghai, he was in a wheelchair and he came out on the side of the stage, and everyone was cheering and stuff. It was really emotional, man. I was teary. I was like, oh man, it's like when an injured wrestler comes out. I was like, oh look, it's that guy. But he's walking again, baby.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, he's ready to go, man. No more disabled toilet for Captain Mo.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Injuries.
What colour is that hair? Like,
which one?
The two closest to the camera, because they're maybe slightly different from each other, but especially the second one. Like, what colour is that? Like a steely grey or something?
It's like a smoky. I'm not sure.
It's pretty cool. The Asian scenes are on point with the male hair dye.
Didi always has crazy hair.
He is the king of the eco frags, by the way. So that's one to look out for on an anti-eco round. So FYI, 40 seconds and the match is going to start. The countdown has begun. So for those of you on GoTV, on the anti-eco round, I'd say Didi, because he is the eco frag king. I think Bentet is a massive player for Tyloo. So I have to pick him out. And the clutch king of 100 ping is Adren. He is a favourite of mine, and I cannot not pick him.
Yeah, Adren is great, especially on this map. Especially on Inferno, he just finds ways to just outsmart people and outjuke them, and just that experience that he brings to the table. He's incredibly smart as a player, and somehow he always delivers like massively at majors. Like it's just so commonly found that Adren will have big games at majors.
Yeah.
So.
And what we've noticed is that there are like waves of people who are new to Counter-Strike and might not be familiar with what these players have done in the past. And I call him the clutch king of 100 ping because he used to play on the online matches from his home country, and he used to have 100 ping.
Kazakhstan.
He had a massive disadvantage, and he would still body people for fun.
And that was very. We'll go into what that's. James is even quite expressing how impressive that is. So we'll go into that later because we have the match starting right here, right now. Tyloo on Inferno, and they're on that CT side, which again they will be in fact quite happy with. Hobbit is testing the grounds towards Top Banana, seeing what he can find, and he's not found too much at the moment. Tyloo taking their time, looking for a good moment to try to strike here with this two-man setup. The flash comes in. Bentet is laboured, but he gets the frag, and no damage has been done to him or somebody, and they get out of there. That's pretty nice.
Second flashbang, but the T's, they were blind, but they won't lose another player. And now we see a reposition. Mo was by the coffins. And now they wait. It's just guesswork here in the pistol round. You can only expect so much So Tyloo will wait to see what they have to offer. Emir cutting the noise. There is a grenade, but as we can see, there is a boost in position. Dozier trying to remember the line up towards the coffins, and there is a pop flash as well. Somebody's blind, but again, they have... Look at this crossfire. It's basically a 3-man setup here from the CTs. Adren going for the 180 no-scope, but he won't get anything done. Tyloo win the pistol without losing a single player.
Yeah, you don't too commonly see that. That was pretty impressive. Very controlled from Tyloo. Gambit unable to get that initial opening on top banana, and it really sort of started to get out of hand as they decided to push in. It's a shooting gallery here for Tyloo. Great start for them, and indeed, we often see Tyloo doing very well in Inferno. I think on the desk they say, it's like their second best map, and so they're going to be reaching comfort. And this is cool from Gambit. They go 5 CZs, nothing. Oh, and well, okay. For some reason, I thought I didn't see Kevlar, but obviously it's a full force buy. But there's no grenades. Usually with this, having just one player, just even one player with this a P250 instead and a flashbang would be really nice.
Nice.
No nades, James. None.
Yeah. I always want to see. Just sacrifice one player because you still have 4 players to kill and 1 player to help you get into position. Now they've seen someone's in library. What can they do about it? 1 player's being tagged. Now 2 players have been tagged. You just don't know. Maybe you would have a flash or a smoke go somewhere else, but I'd like to see that maybe. Anyway, we have lost the CT now. Captain Mo's been taken out. He's got to be careful because they're using numbers game. See how they abuse it. Player jumping off the balcony, double peek from short, and now Gambit are in a strong position. And this, you could argue, is already a save, unless the M4 can get something done.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. They're going to be force buying next rounds no matter what around this. So there might be a good argument to try to do as much damage as they can as well. And see what they can get. Somebody does have the UMP here. He's got an incendiary, so he could actually throw that in Hobbit's position. But he's going to be patient, and that will reward him. And he'll keep that incendiary. He's going to try to fall back, and that's one gun possibly removed here, trying to cover his tracks in case anybody was trying to rush him down. But yeah, what a disaster! It's quite cool to watch the movement from Gambit.
Sorry to interrupt you. He was moving forward towards the balcony, and I thought he was going to die, but then he started moving away again. Which is good.
Yeah, and Gambit's movement there was really interesting. We saw the 2 tags from the scout. It looks really good from that point forward, but then there's the pressure to kill those players because otherwise we see this position. The CTs are trapped in the pit, so it's very hard for them to fight the players coming from arch side because as soon as they start doing that, the 3 players around them, around the balcony and around quad, will just jump them. So they get into this impossible situation. So that split was really effective, even though they had 0 grenades. Zero grenades. It was really, really strong. So 1-1, and the worst has happened for Tyloo.
Technical timeout has been called, and our admins are getting to work. This lady was just at DreamHack Stockholm. Has flown here to boss the players around here as well. So hopefully this will be resolved shortly. Don't forget there are souvenir Inferno packages dropping, so make sure your Steam account is linked to all the relevant places where you are watching the broadcast on Steam TV as well, that's a new one, which is interesting. But of course you've got the Twitch, the YouTube. He's telling that player, be quiet. This is not a time to talk. Shut up. The international communication for be quiet as a finger to the lips.
And speaking of something that's technical, I guess I could add on to James's point earlier about Adren and why playing with 100 ping was particularly impressive, because I'm sure a lot of you played matchmaking and Counter-Strike Global Offensive with 100 ping. You're like, well, that's not too impressive. I can do that. Back in 1.6 days, we didn't have anti-lag netcode. Of course, there's netcode because that allows you to play on the internet with people. I've tried to play without a proper netcode before. It is really weird. Won't go into that though. But I don't have time to finish this. We'll pick a good spot later.
That's a shame,
to nerd out about anti-lag netcode. Anyway, we have the 1-1 situation, the weapon save, the force buy. This is actually quite dangerous from Tyloo's perspective. They've got some firepower here. That scout connects with a couple players again.
Oh, meaty, yes. Reuben sandwich.
Is that your favourite one?
It's just the one that comes to mind. It's pretty meaty. I'm thinking what's meaty? A Reuben sandwich. It's got plenty of meat. Those 2 pieces of bread are very far away from each other. There is a nice boost. Don't see that in a competitive match being successful very often, but that is an early pick for Tyloo. with that single M4 they have. We recently recorded a new Sounds of CSGO episode of the M4. Outdoors this time, but more on that perhaps later. We have a concentration of Gambit players towards this A site now, where 3 CTs await their push. Bentet having a quick look-see. He's got no one really to throw him a nice pop flash. He'll have to do an obvious one, and the T's are still far behind. That's a grenade to add to the repertoire. Mo had opportunity, but Didi will trade at the very least. Bombs on the floor for now. 38 seconds, and there's Hobbit taken down on the balcony. Bentet has to defend, elevating his position on the site, which will really stop him from getting pre-fired. The flashbang misses completely. Falling back now, he knows there is a second player, and he's positioned himself very well. Bentet goes down eventually, 1 versus 2. Dozier, is there time for him to plant the bomb? Apparently not. Tyloo will win the round. They were ill-equipped, but Bentet was huge on the A sites.
Yeah, that was really nice, that defense, and the weapons they were able to scrap together from the previous round really helped out massively. Made the difference with that force buy. Gambit did not get a bomb plant too. That's a big problem. If they had gotten the bomb plant, there's a pretty good argument for them to go for a full force buy here. It looks like they are... Perhaps there was some discussion here, because we see a late buy from Gambit just leaving spawn now. So it seemed like they went on the same page initially, and the force buy was eventually called for Gambit, and they have enough money for the 1 AK on Mir. So that's an AK that they can sort of transfer between players if necessary. And the teams from the CIS region have a lot of really cool rounds where you actually save behind 1 AK and so on and so forth. But obviously this is the force buy. But point being that they are quite used to playing out rounds that are similar to this and making them work. And there's a top mid take coming in from Gambit.
Somebody looking for that info. That's the kill you've got to get, somebody. Got to make Hobbit nobody, but Bentet will do that job. Spots 1 player charging towards him, and he is on his own. He's up against 2 rifles, 2 pistols. Seems 2 of those rifles are on that banana position. But Bentet's the man you want in that bad situation if you have to pick someone on Tyloo. And now Gambit slowly starts to creep towards the A site, but are they having a change of mind? It's down to Dozier to communicate as much information as possible. How many players does he spot? He sees 1 player go towards Arch, presumably rotating towards the B bomb site. That might give the call to go back towards A. Mir now in the middle of mid with the bomb, and Adren's going to be the sacrificial lamb. He's here to kind of suicide into the site, if you will. Explain that in a second. There is a trade for Captain Mo. He sees nobody else. Big frag from Dozier, and now the bomb has to go down, but with 10 seconds it's dropped. DD can't deliver the next frag though. Is there time? Oh, he's got to go around. Oh my god, it's going to be so close. Is he going to get the bomb plant?
Oh,
just about. That leaves Mo in a 1 versus 2.
It's very doable though. Dozier's weak. The bomb just freshly planted, lots of time. No grenades though to really make this easier, and the crossfire to deal with. It's a classic crossfire, very, very difficult. You're going to be showing to both players at once. There's nothing he can do, it seems. Unable to juke them out of position, and that will be the round for Gambit. A very, very tightly won round by the skin of their teeth, in fact.
Indeed. So sometimes if you think of a fake being offered towards one of the 2 bomb sites on a map, you will think, okay, throw some grenades and then run away. But especially in a professional match, that isn't always necessarily convincing. So you see, they leave Adren on the B bomb site as an investment. So when I say suicide into B, basically he is playing to frag out on the B bomb site or die trying, because the investment of players into that is selling the idea of the fake to their opponent and raising the level of urgency to go towards that bomb site. So it's definitely an important concept. I want to say G2 once did it with only 2 players alive, where they had the bomb outside Monster and somebody rotated to A, which worked out for them. So it can be a very powerful tactic, but it also comes with its own risks. Don't know how many players Dozier sees here, but won't be too shy to pick them in a tight choke point. Oh, Adren. That's what I'm talking about. That's why he's on a Go TV.
He got popped. And they all just crushed the remaining defense of Excurate. It's going to do a lot of damage there, picking up the AK-47. A second kill to be had, looking for more perhaps, but with 10 HP now, he can't really entertain too much else. But Bentet finding Hobbits. The back of his head. A very welcome sight, and that's a MAC-10 collected, so not quite as nice as Excurate's shiny AK-47. And looking to get more damage done in here. More pressure added on. Ooh, just a full spray there. He has time to finish this one off. That movement speed of the MAC-10 looking really good, and they make it work somehow. I don't think anyone expected that to work out for them, but it somehow did. Beautiful stuff from Tyloo.
How on earth has Mir left himself completely exposed to the CT spawn like that when his teammate was killed on the B bomb site? Unless there were some bad comms, but I don't really think you can assume that he's coming from one way or another. So, I mean, you can see here, he was basically facing top mid, exposed to Arch and Library. So, I don't think that could have been a lot better in terms of post-plant positioning for Gambit. Don't know what else to say about that, but here we are. Tyloo have been offered a lifeline, Excurate with the AWP. Now look at the buy of Gambit. It's trash.
Yeah, this really changes things so enormously. Tyloo get an opportunity to, if they win this round cleanly, which they have every advantage to do so, they get this awesome position where they can start to build some momentum and really reach a comfort zone. I like the double HE there towards the Logs position, and that's something that we're seeing more and more from teams. And, you can basically push the Ts into that position, and then you nade it. That's kind of how it works. You don't just throw the HEs for no reason. It depends on sort of the nades that have already been thrown, which makes it likely that there could be players hiding there. But it's in the meta game now, so people are better at avoiding it on the T side perspective. As we see Gambit going back to look towards this B bomb site for an opening.
Smoke currently on CT, as you can see. Bentet on the low ground. Mo lining one up towards the coffin position. And now the whole Gambit team is here. This is a 5-on-2 situation. Pop flash into the pool area from somebody. And he's isolated from his opponent now. What can Bentet really do? Does he gamble fame through the smoke? Might get sprayed by his teammate, but somehow he gets 2 out of it. And he keeps it competitive and even gives his team a man advantage on the retake. Already close, trying to secure construction, at least towards the door. How do Gambit prevail here?
That's a big frag from Mir. Wins the 1v1. Keeps the integrity of numbers here on this 2-man setup on the bomb plant. As soon as it becomes 1-man, it gets very difficult. And now Dozier 1v2. They don't know where he is. That's the only advantage he has right now. Can he convert that into a frag? They look for him. And Captain Mo able to turn back around to take down Dozier. And that was an opportunity there for Gambit. But Tyloo will secure things. I don't think they're going to find the AWPs here at the end of the round. Okay, 1 AWP was collected. That is something for Tyloo. But that was a close call. Wow.
So that was very close. I think Dozier gets that kill 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
It's pretty mental. But there was another one to find afterwards. So Tyloo in good spirits now. Lots of discussion going on. And Gambit, they are in eco territory. A few pistols being purchased here and there, but for the most part they await the next round. Again, you can see Tyloo are on top of the monetary situation. They know what Gambit don't have, which is why you see those peaks all the way down on Inferno. Well, more popular, more prevalent in the older Inferno. How has he got 45 HP after a double nade? I do not know. Anyway, we've got the numbers game being attempted. They're trying to abuse the numbers here towards Tom Mid, but it's not quite working out for them. 1 pick is something rather than nothing, and that is expensive for Tyloo. That can be 5 to 6k taken away. And now Gambit are back on the buy.
And one thing we know about Tyloo is that, from an individual standpoint, they have some scary performers. You look to, previously we would think, initially with Tyloo on the scene, you think about Captain Mo, you think about Bentet. Then it turned out that, Excurate joins the team. It's like, whoa, okay, Excurate is an absolute superstar as well in his own right when he gets going. And then DD, of course, haven't even mentioned him yet. And so it starts to be the case that they can get a lot done. They can really leverage that individual skill to get them out of a lot of dangerous spots, which otherwise might be problematic see some aggressive play here. Bentet forcefully trying to take control of Banana here. Unable to find the spray around the smoke. Hobbit going back into the logs position. Somebody knows something about it though, as Excret gets one through the smoke with that AWP. Heads flying all over the place here on Banana as Tyloo take decisive control, and Gambit have to take a sprint up onto the arch side. It's the only option left. Oh, and it's a good one.
The bomb almost going towards B, and it would have been a problem. It would have been a 1 versus 1 because somebody's moving down. In the meantime, Mo trying to hold on to the pit position, but Adren will step into his shoes. 3 versus 2 now as the bomb makes its way through the apartments. And as Mir has just exited apartments and somebody's just walking into apartments, you wonder what will happen. Again, there's that angle I was talking about previously, but someone's already in the pit position, and those is not expecting somebody to be that close, aiming towards the end of the halls. Where is the other player though? Mir focusing on the corner of the smoke, but as time ticks, he's going to have to look towards that short position as well because they know a player's in an apartment. Someone's got to look there. How long is this smoke going to last? Feels like forever for Excret, starting to creep through. There is Mir spotted. Where's the last player? Do they know he's in the pit? Excret now on the high ground. Adren trying to get the 1 versus 1. He's got it. Where's the last player? Switches for him. 2 headshots from Adren. And there is round number 3 for Gambit.
Whew, that was a close one though. That was real close. Goes down to the last man in the clutch for Adren. And that's a 3-5 scoreline now. Gambit only 2 away, but from an economy perspective, things are looking pretty shaky for both teams here. Orbs in for both teams. We see Mac 10s on the side of Gambit. We see UMP and Fatmas on the side of Tyloo. Things are not looking all that fantastic for either side. This is a pivotal moment. And who's going to start it off well? We've got a banana take coming from Gambit.
Ooh, I don't even know if he really lined that one up. But we'll see if it does the job. Very fast play from Gambit. And there you see the smoke landing. And there's the fastest smoke I've seen for that position. But will the numbers game prevail? Doesn't seem so right now. Multi-frags again. Somebody's everybody at the moment, getting all the frags. 2 players remain here for Gambit. They cannot be reset like this. They must do more. Suddenly, 2 frags. The idiot at the bottom of Banana. He doesn't need to peek. He is there for containment. The other 2 players have to focus on the frags. If they come his way, then so be it. Does he swing wide now? Adren doesn't check the corner. So deep is DD. And now Mo has to find something as the last player. Does the net start to get closer? He peeks before the grenade, but can't get the kill just yet. Fakes Mo out and finishes off the job. Great play from DD. Great patience not to overplay his position. And that is the reset for Gambit.
Yeah, that was quite cool to see from DD, absolutely outplaying his opposition. And that puts Tyloo to 6, and that puts Gambit to a smashed economy. We just mentioned it. Very fast round. That's what Gambit wanted to do. They wanted to switch up the pace. They've been playing slower rounds, and they really wanted to try to frag out and challenge towards that banana position, but it was denied them. Double orbs here for Tyloo. That's a scary prospect. We'll have to see though if Tyloo are good at using these double orbs. It can be a double-edged sword sometimes, or somewhat of a glass cannon play style. Can do a lot of damage, but it can also break very easily if the right amount of pressures are put in the right place. And Gambit looking to explode on top mid, but once again, no grenades. It's got to be peaks with the Deagles to make it work.
2 Deagles and 3 Glocks. We have a vintage bait setup here, or I would call this more AWP support, but it does work as a bait as well. To Excret's right stands DD in the corner. He is the cleanup operation, and you can see Adren. He's poised. He's in prime position for a pop flash top mid, but there is no flashes, no grenades. I hate cheaters kick things off for the CT side, and those are 2 massive frags on the arch position. That's the bait setup completely collapsing. Now Mo's got an AWP. That does not bode well for Tyloo.
2 Deagles, 3 Glocks, and nothing else. The AWP of Bo is finally eliminated now as it comes down to Adren with a Deagle and 7 points of health. That is a very sore look here for the remainder of this round, and Gambit will concede it, but they did a lot of damage. Both AWPs collected. It actually seemed like the E button didn't work for Mo for a second there. You had to actually run over it and drop the gun.
I'm upset, man. The E button has betrayed me because they made a fix for those grenade on gun bug thing, but it just like flat out said no. Flat out said no. The FAMASs have gone from the CT side. Now they're looking well equipped with these 2 AWPs and the M4A4s. I can't believe Gambit got that far with that arch set up. Sometimes you get shots in the face. What can you say? What can one say? Somebody playing close. Oh, the Hobbit's going to take one in the leg. Still walking for the time being, though. Somebody trying to make him a captain mode. Excurate forced to fall away after taking his shot. Molotov into the smoke. Not too shy, though. And now let's see. Gambit may go... Well, look at the utility on Gambit. They've got some position, but they've got now 2 smokes and 2 flashes, one of which, smokes that is, they have just deployed. So now they've got one flashbang to make a play into a site. And they're not really in position right now. So this is... Even though they have some position, I think they're still in a spot of trouble.
Yeah, they seem to prioritize firepower massively over utility, and we'll have to see how that style works here against Tyloo, who love to fight themselves. And if there's nothing to stop them hitting the shots, this is how it's going to go. Counter grenades coming in now as the orbs start to do damage. Good flash. No frag from it though, but somebody's there to deliver in its stead. As his teammate goes down, Bentet can only watch somebody just kill everybody here as Hobbit tries around the corner, and he should be able to find him. Somebody indeed will go down eventually. Is there a chance here for Gambit? They've got 25 seconds. Oh my goodness, Hobbit. He might be making this one work. There is space to plant the bomb now.
Does DD peek from the front? Oh, Mo's got the cross. The tables have turned. Mo, quite a capable sniper. The flashbang goes too far. Misses a shot though. I think he moved just before he pressed the trigger. So now they know where he is. But where is Hobbit? The location of the bomb plant may be a clue. That's a great snap from Mo. And now the other Mo is left in a 1 versus 1 after picking off Captain Mo. I think DD may have touched a bomb, but Mo doesn't believe him. He's scoped in. He goes for a jump, but not quite going to work out for him. And Gambit managed to make that work again. That looks really bad for them. They lost 2 players before they even really executed into the B bomb site, but somehow turned it around. And it's round number 4 on the board for Gambit.
Yeah, that seems... I can't pinpoint what exactly were the big issues in that round. I'd have to see it again, but Gambit absolutely shouldn't have been the team winning that round, that's for sure. Tyloo are not going to be enjoying that one, and especially considering what it's done to their money.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's definitely a pivotal moment at this point, as Tyloo could have run away with things. You know, it should have been an 8-3 and so on and so forth, but enough about that. We have the pistol push in the apartments here for Gambit to deal with, and it might work out. You can't rule out Tyloo when it comes to these pistols. They are doing damage. They steal away Galil.
Says hello and falls back. Not a good start for Gambit. It's been a very back and... Oh, has no one heard this? Okay, they did. So you can see the slow realization from the players in mid. Hold on. Who is jumping in second mid? It's not one of us. And that's the Galil taken away. Moving up towards Banana now. Bentet and somebody awaits. But really, it's Excurate with the... Well, Excurate and Captain Mode with the dangerous pistols here. The USPs, there's only so much they can do to these players in their current state with all their health mostly intact. So, Tyloo needs to get that CZ going. But the CZ is alone on a P250. A dink would be nice, but you need your teammates alive as well to capitalize, to pick up weapons and so on. Tyloo don't have that right now. Bentet with a cheeky push. Gets a kill for free. With a USP, which was a P250, 300 for 300. And now execute it with the CZ, lower kill bonus. Now let's see, can there be an overextension from Gambit? If Hobbit gets too close to this corner on his own and an AK is picked up, who the hell knows what might happen? They should be wise of that. No need to venture to the close corners. Can play from range as is possible. They'll feel safe going towards CT. They've got angles for a cross towards the site, and Adren is still there on Coffin, so everything is stabilized, at least for now, for Gambits.
Yeah, they've been afforded an opportunity back into the game, and they can still take control of the half. So they edge ever closer to their opponent's scoreline. Looking focused, looking composed. Now, what is the next step here for Tyloo? They've managed to get together an AWP, a couple UMPs, and a couple of FAMAS. They've got a decent grouping of grenades with this. They want to play it passively or aggressively. That is the question. Gambit have a very high amount of utility here, so any utility battle should surely go the way of the T side. So you might want to see Tyloo being more conservative so they don't run out of grenades too early. They are looking to take control of Banana ever still.
Ooh, that's a meaty one. Meaty grenade onto the feet of Hobbit, and he jumps into the flames. He just had enough, Dan. He just like, I can't believe you've naded me. I haven't even seen anybody. I'm done. I hear some flames. Let me jump into those. I'm out. Speaking of flames, somebody will be forced away. The T's won't hang around to hear that tag. Mo moving into a very uncommon position. Very rare that you see that. Don't know if any sound cues were heard by Dozier, if he has any clues. Speaking of rare positions, I always wonder when that setup is done by the CTs, how many kills they get on average and things like that, but here we are.
You can wallbang it too, pretty sure. From the top of those apartment stairs.
I forgot the old wallbang on Old Inferno from Banana through the wall. Anyway, 30 seconds left. Players are moving up towards top mid for Gambit. And this position could be devastating if they're not prepared for it. 20 seconds now. Moving towards the balcony. Who is covering the balcony? Didi's come in from short as well. So, which way will the balcony player look? Surely he won't be looking this direction. And there's Didi turning around again. Now the bomb is on the floor with 7 seconds. And this round is already over. There isn't time to plant the bomb. And there are too many CTs alive. And Executor will take out the rest of them. Gambit played the clock. But you could say in that sense they were architects of their own downfall.
Yeah, absolutely. The clock ended up playing them in the end, for sure. I mean, the crazy thing too is that they had plenty of utility, and they just waited it out. And perhaps they're expecting Tyloo to get aggressive, but then it's hard to expect that as a likely outcome when your opponents have more players alive than you. If you put a lot of pressure on Tyloo through the matter of, they have to find out what's going on because they have a player disadvantage, and they don't feel like they'll win the round if they just wait, then that's a different situation to wait for the push. But it was in fact Gambit that had the man down situation. So Tyloo were never pushing, and I like to see that discipline from them after they were very active on Banana. We know that Tyloo likes to be an active team. They like to fight, they like to use that individual skill that they have, and they do it in the right spots. They do it on Banana. That's a great position on the map to do it, and that's being a problem. That was a massive problem in the previous round for Gambit. It was unpunished. That was a UMP charging down, upgraded for an AK, got out with no damage. So that's something that might need to be addressed here for Gambit, but there's not many rounds to do that left in this half with. So single AK here for Gambit. That's a good connection. Accurate. Looking solid so far.
I don't know what the value in that peak is. I always feel like in a round such as this, where you have one guy with an AK and the rest on pistols, like for me, you want the guy with the AK to try and get the entries, but then you want the personnel to try and swarm a position if there's one player there, for example, let's say Executor misses this shot, just play the numbers game, trade, take him out with the pistols, pick up his weapon, blah blah blah. But if you have less players to do that with, I think the round becomes harder for you. When if you have one player with a rifle, you have potential, but if you have one player and no one else alive, obviously your percentages go down a hell of a lot more. Hobbit peeking towards the arch position. I'm not sure if that gun is retrievable now, but you can see Tyloo just assuming that the team have to be around. Dozier's picked up the AK now. Adren's got a FAMAS. There's a smoke and a flash on these T players, but they're going to try the creep, and for now it's going to be good. And Tyloo are in trouble on the A bomb site here because there is a flank potential with a player on the balcony as well. Xscript's made a sound cue which a player on the balcony can hear and give warning, and they're continuing to creep. They've made their way into the site. This is so weird, but Didi might just clean things out. Mo alone now. Question of damage perhaps, if it's relevance. 3 players survive for the CT side, and it's 9-5 to Tyloo.
That was bizarre, wasn't it? That was very strange. You don't see that every day.
Very weird.
Works out though. Didi was a savage from pit, and now it's the last round, and we'll see Gambit combine up with a couple of Galils once again. CZ in the mix, lack of utility. Once again for Gambit, it doesn't seem like it seems like they want to try to do a lot with the firepower against Tyloo, and I think that's playing to a strength of Tyloo in many respects. That's a game where Tyloo can be very comfortable. And we'll see Execure, and he's absolutely mad, going straight forwards there for that fast peek through the smoke. And unfortunately for him, this round, Gambit were ready for it. Mo pushes forward and converts the second kill. Gambit might very well have the last round of the first half here.
Right, stop a further push from Gambit towards the B-bomb site, but you want to hold on to your grenades if you can. And there aren't many grenades for Tyloo. Bentet with the Molotov. Gambit just waiting for now. Waiting for the smokes to go. Look at Mo's position. Really aggressive with the AWP. He can smell the desperation. Quiet boost, and Tyloo have gambled on this B-bomb site being the one, and they might not be wrong. Seems that Doze is just looking for a rotation, a peek, down mid. There are some grenades, asking questions, maybe waiting for some counters. Bentet holding the molly, but he's got to throw it soon. There it is. Doesn't do much. Ooh, DD missing the mark. They can't see through the smoke, but he and Bentet will get 2, 3 now. Make it 4. What in the blazes? Not a single frag in this push from Gambit. The pre-fire there won't do the job, but with 29 seconds left, where on earth are these players for Dozier? Could be on the left, could be on the right, could be first oranges, second oranges, new box, dark spot, construction. He has no idea, and he has to avoid getting trade fragged. 17 seconds now, half the time gone, just wondering where they are, and that is round number 10 for Tyloo.
That is crazy. It was like 3 versus 5 for Tyloo. They lose 2 players on B immediately, and then somehow they managed to win into a 2v1. So that's kind of crazy.
They nosed it right up, Gambit.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Tyloo, they had made some mistakes of their own here, but they are looking much more together as a team. And Inferno is a map that historically Gambit have been pretty darn strong on. So it would be a tough one for them to lose, but of course there is still ample time for a comeback to be made for Gambit here into the second half.
Absolutely. I expect Mo to be strong with the AWP on the CT half. I think that perhaps the CT half will be a relief to Gambit, who seem to have struggled on their T side. I think it's reasonable to say. Tyloo they've got some grenades on Execurate and Bentet. There is a Molotov among other things. See what Gambit choose to do. Trying to abuse the range of the USPs down mid, but they'll fall back into more traditional positions. This is fairly common for Hobbit. That's a nice shot from him. Still moving, of course. You can often see him peeking Banana with a smoke grenade in his hand, just trying to spot and call rotation as and when necessary. But we've got the vintage retake play from the CTs with the flashbang. Doesn't see anything, but you never know what's hiding behind the wall.
Soon going to find out, I think. And indeed, 3 players, but Hobbit, oh my god, that is outrageous, making it look far too easy. And Adren, of course, just one-upping him there in regards to that. Very clean kill down at the long ranges from top mid all the way to bottom of mid. And Bentet, last man standing. James, so the funny thing about this is that Tyloo won their pistol flawlessly with 5 players alive, and now Gambit just did the same on the CT side. That's quite cool.
In a heinous fashion. Heinous fashion. What are those shots through the wood? Maybe he is very in tune with his game sound, because I mean, have a look at this. Nasty stuff from Hobbit. Yeah, he's given a difficult task on Banana, but we'll see more of that when the buy rounds come in. For now, it's the anti-eco, anti-force buy, and it is the latter. Indeed, it is the latter. We've got stats from Betway. Tyloo has won 19 of 34 pistol rounds as T on Inferno over the last 6 months. Middling ground, more or less. Right then, so Tyloo with their pistols have 2 flashes and a smoke, so there are a number of different burst plays they could do if they throw a flash from Bentet's position over the high roof here, like so. Then here comes the charge numbers game, and Dozier is in a lot of trouble because here comes the conga line. That smoke grenade could be a godsend. He gets the 1 versus 1. He can reposition now. And just Pepper tries to conserve his bullets. And he will clean house. 4 kills for Dozier, leaving somebody on the A bomb site. But Mir will take care of him as well. That's a good chunk of money for Dozier. And 7 rounds for Gambit. 7-10 in favour of Tyloo.
Yes, it's looking very doable now for Gambit, taking control of the Mahoneys and able to move forwards now against just pure Glocks. That was a beautiful hold from Dozier. Really, it's very satisfying. In that position, you're alone. There's 4 players with pistols running at you, and you just calmly clean it up. And I think that's something that you can absolutely say for players like Dozier, players like Adren. Absolutely, the 2 players with perhaps the most experience on the team. And they're veterans, and that's the level of composure you can expect from them.
Do you remember? Well, this round is not live. They will restart it. Something or other is going on. Do you remember when Valve added a barrage of Pretty Flower updates to Inferno and Cobblestone and other places? Added Pretty Flowers. Someone in Valve is gardening, man. Someone out there has got their like plant pots from home in the game, because there are flowers all over the shop now. But who?
Who is the botanist?
We'll try and find out during the course of this major.
I bet you. I feel like you're gonna at some point become a botanist. That's like not as like a profession, but you'll have like 6 months where you delve deep into the discipline of botany. I
looked into tree surgery, but apparently it requires like 2 or 3 years of study. I was like, okay, pass. I don't have time for that. If I've got time to learn something, I'll learn, regardless of what it is almost. But I'm sure tree surgery is not one.
There must be accelerated classes, James. You can probably find someone who
But because you think it's just climbing trees and cutting things, right? But I'm sure there's like education on foliage and stuff. I had some people whose family and friends were tree cutters and tree surgeons, and they told me all about it. So there we go. But someone gave me a cactus as a present, and then it died because I gave it too much water.
So what is it? So I'll give you a test. What is it in the leaves that gives the leaf its color, James?
Green.
What is the substance called?
I don't know.
It's like chloroform, but it's chlorophyll. That's I'm just trying to make it memorable for you. Chlorophyll.
When you say it's like chloroform,
well, I just
isn't that what people put on like a cloth to make people unconscious?
That's why I was trying to.
I don't know if it's like chloroform, Dan.
Well, no, it's not like. I mean, like the word sounds similar. Like it's it starts with chloro. I don't know. I just try to make it memorable for you.
Why
James.
did you think of chloroform then?
Because I'm trying to think. What would James remember here? I feel like that's something you
associate me with chloroform.
Yeah, I feel like that's something you'd know about.
Don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah. Well.
Right, I'd love to know who has the issue here and what the issue is. But we'll see, hopefully soon, what the hell's going on. Who do you favour at this point of the match?
It's a difficult one. I think I'm probably going to lean towards Tyloo. I think it is very hard though, because I think we look at Gambit probably moving on to what should be right now their strongest side, but I think that Tyloo have so much skill. If they're able to find their comfort zone with the fast trade style, I think that can be just so effective. And they already have a slight lead. The only issue here is that Gambit are going to start with a very good economy. But I'm going to say Tyloo. I think it's very 50-50. But if I had to say someone, I'd say Tyloo.
I think Gambit. I mean, maybe I'm underestimating Tyloo. They have been on the rise this year for sure. We'll see. The round is being restored, and then I imagine we will be continuing. I don't know what the issue is or was, but we'll see. The music's good though.
Yeah, I mean, there's also less pressure on Tyloo in this situation. They lose this game. We're in the. They won't be knocked out. So they're gonna have more chances. Obviously, when you play an opponent like Gambit and you're Tyloo, it's such a winnable game for you though that you absolutely of course there is some pressure to take it, but knowing that you have some lifelines if it does go wrong, does I think alleviate some of the potential pressure, and I think that's an advantage that you could perhaps say that Gambit would have over Tyloo is that experience. of playing at this level in majors and so on. Obviously, Gambit won a major as well.
Yeah. Feels like a long time ago now.
Yeah. In Krakow.
Yes, indeed. So Gambit had some kind of issue of some description, don't know what it was, but we are back into it now, and on we go. The UMPs are out. I've never really used the UMP too much myself, but it is good for making some monies. Of course, you could argue fell out of favour somewhat when the damage fall off was increased, so it wasn't as good as it previously was. But here we see 3 UMPs. UMP 45, a literal upgrade to the old MP5. More on that later. This cleanup will be brief. So the UMP 45 is essentially like an MP5 2.0 with, I forget what the stock thing on the back, the folding stock thing is called. I forget what they told us about it. But if you look at our Sounds of CSGO, you will find all the edumacation there. It is explained in the video. Here we are. Now Tyloo are back on the bye with a 2-round lead over Gambit.
So where is this one going to go? Because Tyloo, I was talking about that fast-paced trading style of T-side that they're good at. This is the kind of round where you would see that. They don't have much utility, so they have to rely on that. But deep peek from Mo, he's so confident. He knows they can't have an AWP in this round. He knows it. So he feels comfortable to take that peek, and he's going to win the battle.
Again, what is the... I guess he's trying to bait a shot. Well, he did a good job of it. He baited the shot, and now he's dead. So perhaps an unwise approach to the to mid area in that particular round.
Yeah.
Oh, that is brutal. That's what we mentioned previously, where even when the flash comes in for the burst play, sometimes you have to slightly delay, because if there's an AWP holding the angle, they'll take the shot anyway, and you might just run straight into it. And now you've got a 4 versus 3 situation. Do Tyloo look for some info towards Banana? Indeed they do, and that will force Dozier back, not deploying his smoke grenade just yet. Instead he'll take another tight angle, so tight that the wide peak stops somebody from being able to get a frag. But now they've got map control. This is still good for Tyloo. Doesn't get a frag, but he's got masses of real estate, and now Gambit don't really know what's up. You can see somebody suggesting that he has run away. Wasn't the most dedicated bait. Oh, almost gets a headshot there, and he's going to go for this. He's got position and a spray, but Dozier will get the kill, and the team are behind him now. But the team are falling to pieces. Bentek's got to get 2. Always ever reliant Bentek. Can he get this frag? He can, but there are 2 more to find, and maybe it's 2 too many as Gambit get another round on the board, and the gap is closed to 1.
Yeah, big round from Mo there. In many senses, though, Mo, he was... I'm not going to say he was given an easy round. That's not what I'm trying to put across. But I think you highlighted it well. There is no business for Tyloo to be peeking middle when your opponent has an AWP and you don't in this kind of round. It's an opportunity for Mo. He's a very established and reliable AWP player for Gambit, and he knows that that's a round where it's very safe to go for that deep peek. And a lot of AWPers will be going for that. And you can see here again, he knows there's no AWP. He's going for the peek as deep as he likes. He will whiff the shot, but he's going to be happy in gathering that information ever still. So Tyloo, there's not really much that they can rely on here. It's feeding the machine. Mo doing a good job so far on the CT side. He is very dangerous, isn't he? He could absolutely make the difference here for Gambit.
You can see Mo targeting a wider peak, which is why he's not holding the closer angle to the left. These Tyloo players are just waiting. The re-smoke. No punish attempt as the smoke passes the door. But somebody is on short now, and there is the wide peak. Lands a shot immediately. Speaking of which, Bentek with a nice one, trying to avoid getting a collateral there. Really going patiently for that headshot onto Hobbit, but won't hit the mark on that occasion. And there is Gambit with another round. 10-10 now as Tyloo move back towards bye. Excurate has bought an AWP. So there will be 2 on the server on this occasion. Now let's see if Gambit can continue their winning ways. They've won 5 from 5 so far in this second half. No momentum just yet for Tyloo.
Yeah, it's really tough. Excurate picks up the AWP. And, Mo this round, I'm very unlikely he'll take a deep peek again. He's going to be much more shallow. Flash over the top here. No peek at all from Mo. He's keeping a shallow angle still. And meanwhile, Tyloo will harass towards Banana. Gambit with a much more passive approach generally than their counterparts in this matchup. Tyloo, who really hammered it on their CT side. That said, Hobbit's in the smoke here, looking to burst out with a flashbang, going for the play. Ventet looks for it, but all he's looking at now is the ground, as Hobbit is successful in his push. And that's a 5v4 now for Gambit. What did Tyloo do? They still need an opening.
That was a pretty cool peek in my opinion.
Yeah.
Not the normal one that you see. Taking players by surprise, but ready to take the duel. He knows he can't just run back to B for free. He's got to stand his ground and get some man advantage for his side. But again, Tyloo, they've got position now, so despite having a man disadvantage, if they pushed now, they'd have a 3-on-2 towards the B bomb site, but Gambit will buy more time for themselves with the smoke grenade. Mir has one towards the A site as well, and Gambit don't have all the... Sorry, Tyloo don't have all the map control in the world. Somebody was second mid, but now they fall back towards B to focus on that position. Gambit have no eyes towards top mid, but what the hell is Diddy doing then, it may ask. And now we've got more players coming in, but one by one, not really moving into a trade situation, Tyloo, so spread out from each other that he can't use that numbers advantage, even with a third player towards B. They had 4 players, and now they've got 1.
No success on this T side so far for Tyloo. And they're up to max loss bonus. And there is enough money with this save to force out a buy in this next round. It's not going to be amazing. Excurate and Captain Mo don't have the best situation on the money, but Gambit really steady at the moment. You know, I feel like Mo is...
Look how far away they are from each other. Yeah. Next guy comes into peak, and then where's the trade frag? Those is already hidden and re-peaked by the time the third player comes out to trade for the second player. So they really didn't use the numbers game at all in any of those duels.
Yeah, very bad spacing for the trades. And Mo, he's been so solid. Oh my god, the confidence in Mo going for that peak. So confident is Gambit at the moment. Hobbit showing that there is a second AWP now, and that is not a very welcome sign here for Tyloo. They've taken some control on Banana, but the cost has been enormous. Oh man. It's great to see, you know, Gambit playing comfortably, but at the same time you feel like, oh boy, no, that's depressing, isn't it?
Oh,
gets it nice. But yeah, you feel like Tyloo have made it a bit easier in some spots than they otherwise might have done for Gambit.
Still 3 players remain with a minute on the clock. Smoke towards the arch position. And now while this basically says to Gambit, we're not going arch, they can pop flash burst through that smoke as well, so they have to consider that. And Mo will focus on that smoke from the library position as Dread caught in no man's land. And those are 2 frags for Tyloo. 2 versus 3, and Mo has the cross, but he's got no help from Arch, but I don't think he needs it right now. He spots an arm, and that's enough to take out Bentet and see the bomb. 33 seconds, 1 versus 3 for somebody. And every second he doesn't get a frag, Dozier's flank gets closer in that short position. He's not shy to give him the sound cue. Somebody's got to find something, but there are so many targets. And he will get taken down. Gambit move to round number 12. Again, they haven't lost a single round in this half.
Yeah, they are just an autopilot at this point, just so comfortable. There hasn't really been any sort of round that really pushes them or stretches them. You know, we see again, like Mo able to move around the map as he pleases, pretty much winning every single fight. I don't know if he's even missed a shot. I don't think Mo's missed more than 1 shot. I would even go so far as to say. And now Hobbit's picked up an AWP towards Banana, and we're not seeing Tyloo in these positions where they're able to slowly force Gambit back. They take top mid, they can run an execution or a fake. You know, like these kinds of more normal, late game scenarios in Inferno T-side, we're not really seeing it. Tyloo is struggling to keep players alive to get to that point.
Tactical timeout from Tyloo at the moment. Lads, we're not doing nothing on this T-side. We've got to win some rounds. They're only 2 rounds behind. But I mean, they started the half 10-5. But they have to forget about that now. That's in the past. It's not relevant anymore. Got to look towards the status quo and look towards the future. Gambit have a 2-round lead. We, Tyloo, are at maximum loss bonus. Let's pull out the guns and let's get going. What do we need to change to be successful here? Are we going to see some aggression in the apartments from the CT side? Adren going through, maybe just spotting second mid because he's gone all the way back out the balcony, back towards A, so not really giving Gambit an early advantage if they don't need to.
Some more positioning here for Tyloo as they start to find themselves close to that top mid area. Can they burst it though successfully? Will we see another shutdown here at the hands of Gambit? Let's cure it with the smoke for Arch. Not much for Mo there now. He throws forwards an incendiary just to delay a push into top mid. Just slow everything down in 10 seconds here, 10 seconds there. He still finds a kill though as we see a player pushing towards the balcony position. Tyloo showing their hand perhaps now. A lot of information going the way of Gambit to know that this push is coming. They've got 4 players to defend the A bomb site. Hobbit in this very close position on the cubby. The bait set up between him and Mo is going to be very strong. Mo just does not miss it. Now Hobbit also good for it. Quick 2 from him, and that completely crushes the round again. Tyloo, James, they are getting crushed.
Gambit have not taken a single point of damage in this round. And it is a 5 versus 1. That is quite something. Mo. Great play towards Arch.
I think Mo is... I think Mo's died once, and I think he's hit almost every single shot except one. And I think he has 12 or 13. I think it was like 12 and 15 or something at the start of this half. And now he's 22 and 16, I think. Yeah. So he has been just rocking Tyloo's world. If you imagine a lot of these frags he gets are, like every time they take a position, he gets a frag. Sometimes he peeks down mid, he gets a frag. This is before Tyloo have been able to exert proper pressure onto Gambit.
Yeah, I think Mo is not on the top of the radar in terms of snipers at the moment, but he is shining for the time being. All of Gambit are a problem on this CT side for Tyloo. It's another round they have not won. 8 rounds in a row for Gambit. Now, they're only 3 rounds away. You do wonder though, maybe just one round can shake the confidence. Because Tyloo, being already on 10 rounds, is a pretty good situation. And one player will be spotted charging towards Banana, so the alarm can be raised, but what can you do? The numbers game is here. Will they run through the Molotov? Captain Mobile for sure. Hobbit's got to try and conserve his bullets here. He's got 12 left. He got 3 kills though, so he's done a great job. And that may be enough to deny them. Oh, off the corner. Beautiful stuff. Excret going for a bomb plant, which will give them some bonus money, but they really have to win a round here.
He's going to fall back into a more defensible position as he waits patiently now for these 3 remaining Gambit players to come in. Excret, we've seen incredible things from him. This needs to be another highlight reel as he faces up to this 1 versus 3, the bomb ticking away. First task is to finish that frag. A headshot perhaps could make itself available to him, but no, it's too late with these frags, and it will be Adren to clean him up as the defuse comes in a timely manner here from Gambit. They move 14 to 10. There has not been a single round still won by Tyloo in this half. What has happened to their T side, James? Where is their T side?
I expected Gambit to be strong on their CT side. I did not expect them to win every single round.
100% success
every
rate.
single round, but I think partly it's round dependent. Some of the rounds again that pushed towards B, they just came out one by one like they were taking a ticket, so could have been better on Tyloo's end, but some I think they're just getting outplayed by Gambit with their setups and Mo on the AWP. Hobbit's play's been good as well, and again getting more aggressive now, raising the temperature. Ooh, that was a close one. Hobbit saw a tease. Now, this might be too brazen. Unnecessary there. But, I mean, they won every round, so I can see them getting somewhat cheeky. But Tyloo are only 4 rounds away. So, if they get some momentum off this and win this round, you know, you don't want to get too aggressive here, Gambit. Because this can still go wrong.
Yeah, that's the beauty of Counter-Strike. It's not done until it's done. It's always a chance. And so the game is over. And Dozier is looking to expedite that journey for Tyloo as they start to push top mid here with everyone that remains. All 4 players. Mo, though, again, just not missing at all unless he's flashed. And in goes Tyloo, trying to put pressure on this A-bomb site. There's 35 seconds to go. Mir dropping the defensive smoke by the pit position. Maybe it's a bit too deep, but Mo delivers once again. Mir doesn't even have to do anything. Mo with a second.
Mir still in the pit though, but somehow managed to get the bomb planted. Almost default. There's another one gone. Down to the 1 versus 1. Execute. He knows Mir's in the pit. Mir may have heard the reload. They know he's on the rifle. They've spotted him now. He's got a kit. He's got to go wide. If he plays tight, we would have got headshot, surely, but Execute's repositioned as well. They find each other, and finally, Tyloo get around on the board. Again, they're only 3 rounds away, so I'm not really keen on the brazen play from Hobbit towards Banana, because if they had like 5 rounds, sure, but this gap is small. Doesn't matter if you've won every single round. You've got to keep your focus.
It's definitely going to be very difficult at this point. You know, they've really been pushed to the limit on their Inferno game, and we'll see whether or not they can deliver more like that. Of course, that just went down to the 1v1 clutch. It'll be very difficult here for Tyloo to find their way back in. And as we're into the round here,
let's
jump back in, and we see the mid push coming in here from the CT side. Denied though, Bentep through the smoke. In fact, I have no idea how he found that one.
The timing was hilarious. The timing was like he had the X-ray glasses on. Absolutely absurd stuff, and it's another early advantage in another round where Gambit have they been too aggressive. I mean, they're trying to take Tyloo by surprise, take them off guard. The game they were playing was so comfortable though, that I mean, it's easy to say in hindsight, right? Like, oh, it's gone wrong. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. But you wonder. You cannot help but wonder.
Yeah, I mean, it's a basic logic rationale of if the other team struggles in the early and mid round to create opportunities, if you play aggressive, what you're doing is you're giving them an opportunity. Then you're not forcing them to solve that problem. So anyway, Dozier just perhaps overstaying his welcome. Got to be very careful there. Gratuitous amount of jump peeking, and he's in a lot of trouble here. He's got to hit these frags. Smoke comes in the good timing, but he will be unable to defend himself as it's down to Mo. A rare miss in this game so far, but Mo is the player you want in this position. He is smoked off though. There's not too much he can do surely from this position. Actually a slight gap, but it's too risky to peek that by himself now.
He's on his own. His teammates have not made any attempt to rotate. Why is he still here? Because their money's starting to run low. Bear in mind, it's like 6k plus for a CT buy. It's not as good as it looks. He has to hold on to this weapon. At this point, he is saving. But he could take a shot, fall back, and just... Because if he just runs away and hides in the corner, then Tyloo, there's a chance they could just hunt and close that distance a lot faster. But that's why he's hanging about here. But I don't know, I start to worry for Gambit now. After such a great comeback, and then taking the lead, I think I do wonder if there was some overconfidence in some of the plays we've seen, which have allowed Tyloo back into this game. And they were never far away because they were so far ahead in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be really interesting to see how the adjustment comes in from Gambit now, as I do believe they have taken a time out. Gambit looking to perhaps reassess the situation. And again, I think that you have to look at this, like the Gambit have to look at this game and think, look, it's been that Tyloo have struggled to effectively run defaults without losing players. And, you know, in every sense, when they've been trying to push us back, that's when, you know, it gives us more opportunities to get frags before they go onto a bomb site. That's where they've really been struggling, and that's where we've been getting the advantages and winning rounds. So perhaps we'll see a more passive approach now from Gambit to go back to, as you described it, that comfortable zone that they were in that sense. And so, again, also as you mentioned, you know, the money is stretched here for Gambit. They'll get the full buy-in, but it's not going to be a good look if they lose the next couple rounds as far as the bias perspective goes, and then we'll likely have overtime. So Gambit need to make this work, but Execute, look at this fast timing with the AWP, darting straight up the banana position, looking to find one. He won't catch it though. teased. That is heinous stuff from Hobbit, really pushing his luck.
Dozier has to create a magician's curtain in which to disappear. Oh, crikey, almost landed on his head. So some damage done. With an M4 spray, this could quickly turn around, but Gambit needs to be quicker on that trigger finger when the time comes. And when will it come? Tyloo heading towards the A bomb site now. They've left no one towards B, and we've seen some pop flash aggressions from the CTs in rounds prior. So I do wonder if we'll see a retake attempt there and then some information. Dozier is starting to creep towards the corner. Mo's got a flash towards B, so we'll see if that happens fast. Dozier is peeking banana now. Will there be a rotation from the CTs? Will it come in time? Tyloo making lots of noise towards this A site. There's a peek from Adren. He's got so much information right now. Now they're committed, but Mir goes down as well. This is a disaster for Gambit.
Yeah, really wanted more from that peak from Mir. At least like one kill could maybe make a difference here, but with Gambit's on the ropes here economically, they just have to give it up. And it's all about winning buy versus buy now for them. Tyloo really finding some life at the end of this half, and I mean, they went missing for so long. 9 rounds in a row, Gambit were victorious on in regular time, or rather at the CT side, until we started to see any sign of life here from Tyloo, and somebody going hunting. He didn't allow them to save these guns.
Ooh, you see some nervousness there when he starts to strafe before taking the shot. Every sniper is familiar with that. It's such a weird paradox in that you're afraid of being fragged, which is why your brain moves you before you shoot, but you have an AWP, so if you shoot, you're not going to get fragged because it's an AWP. It's so bizarre, but it's like it's one of those mental blocks which can be hard to get around sometimes, especially in the heat of things.
Do you know why, James? It's because, you know, our brain, we try to like move away from trauma. You know, you've had that negative conditioning so many times where you like go for that shot, you hold it, then you get shot in the face, and you feel so bad, so stupid.
You got to trust yourself.
Yeah, it's a difficult one.
Yeah,
it's that negative conditioning though. It's hard sometimes to.
When I'm on a free for all deathmatch server and I'm using a sniper rifle, I don't buy a pistol because if I miss my shot, then I want to be fragged. I don't want to, because I feel like it can teach you different habits where you're trying to manage with the pistol afterwards. It's like I want to land my shot the first time, or I want to. I feel like it for my purposes, it makes me depend on getting the shot first time more. So I think that helps me mentally. But here we are, Tyloo 1 round away now. Gambit still have a bye, but do wonder, do they go back to what worked for them? They had that round where Hobbit went for the re-peek on Banana through the smokes and so on of the AWP. Then they had the round where they made a play down mid. Both didn't really work out for them. Can they bring back what allowed them to string all those rounds together? It feels like it was long ago now. I think the momentum is with Tyloo.
Yeah, absolutely is. Right now they're feeling it, and quite conversely, Gambit are feeling it in quite a different way, as they've been crippled by these pushes. Tyloo looking to make it work again. Mir trying to defend, gets only one. Adren looking to make good of it though as they start to rush onto the box site, and there is nothing that they can do. X-Curate through the box with the AWP, and my god, Tyloo, they just walk onto the bomb site. There is no one to deny them that. What on earth is going on right now? Gambit can't stop them, and their money is just down the drain. Tyloo move on to 14 rounds. The opportunity for Gambit to win this game, James, it's slipping away very quickly.
At least the loss bonus will be high. 2,900 for losing this round. So I'm interested to see what they will choose to do. You can see the air strafing, trying to bait the shot from the AWP. It's an easy avoidance, and that's a bait set up, but there's no frag from Dozier. And it seems only Mo may survive. Ooh. Mo got a no-scope on Captain Mo there before the camera switched to early production.
I have to say as well that Mir has been struggling anchoring that pit position. He's having a bad game, I think, so far, and you know that's a position where you do expect you have to get those multi-kills. That's part of your job, and you know we're really seeing Tyloo abuse that A bomb site in recent times. just being able to walk onto that site. It can be difficult when they throw the right utility. Sometimes you don't get an opportunity to even see to make some kills, but 14-14, what a comeback here now from Tyloo. 4 rounds in a row, the last 3 rounds, easy bomb plants. And the fact as well that we see them getting onto these sites so easily now, it's like night and day. If you look at the first 9 rounds of the half, it's crazy.
I'm interested to see what the boys on the desk will think of this half. And see if they thinking what I'm thinking, or if they have
what do you think?
Wiser and deeper thoughts on it. Just like the turning point where just unnecessary risk is being taken on Banana, and everything kind of falls apart from there. You haven't won until you've won. Too many a game where a team gets to 14 and then gets no further. I don't want to be taking that peek again. He was in the air for so long. I'm surprised. I think a lot of snipers would have taken him out there.
I think Execute usually will hit that one too, and this is also another spot where you don't want people to be playing scared because you're like, oh my god, they're doing it, they're about to win. So you need your players to take the right peaks. Mo, he needs to be confident, he needs to put himself in there. Mo's been playing really well with that AWP. He's got to get himself in position to continue to swing rounds for Gambit as this B push comes in. It looks like Tyloo are unrelenting. That's some good damage though with that UMP through the smoke. Hobbit with a boosted position, unchecked for, able to come off of it without taking really any damage. This is a great position for Gambit.
Bomb not down just yet. They have no more smokes to replenish these, so they will fear DD trying to hold the angle, so they'll commit to this. The longer they take to plant the bomb, the worse it gets. We've got the final 2 players rotating for Gambit. So much map control in construction, but it's about the frags. These AKs will be very dangerous. There's no Molotov or anything like that for Gambit. They have to go in there and frag out. They've got 1 flashbang. The HE could do something. They could smoke off Banana. You can see Gambit just waiting for it. Benset playing anti-flash. 2-man spray down for him. Doesn't matter about these Gambit plays in their positions. Those are the last one to fall. And that's match point Tyloo.
Oh my god, just a story of just a big momentum switch here for Tyloo. Nothing works, nothing works. We're getting crushed. Now we're winning the game. So it's just out of nowhere. And, by the notion of that great first half that they had, they gave themselves enough time to get the machine working, to get the engine purring as it is now for Tyloo. And the money situation, what we're dealing with here, Gambit, they have an AWP onto Mo still, but it's going to be limited grenades, I think, and they will have less than optimal weaponry as far as the rifles are concerned. I see 2 M4s. We're going to see
FAMAS is coming out.
And
yeah, they are somewhat saved by the loss bonus. It gives them a fighting chance, but where has success gone? Where has it gone?
Tyloo, they're looking to steal this one away. The thing is, though, James, it's all well and good getting to 15. We've seen, you can get to 15, but sometimes it seems like number 16 is a bit more difficult. So we'll see if Tyloo can achieve that, as they have a decisive advantage moving in against Gambit here in the last round of regulation.
Well then, yeah, after the way this half has gone, you do wonder if Tyloo will be overly cautious and maybe not make the right plays that in their gut they know is the right play. 5 players moving towards the A site with 1:30 on the clock. And Sponge spoke about some of these plays. Few grenades and off they go with the numbers. And now Mo's got a shot towards a short position. Adren trying to do something from Arch, but he can't. And Didi will have no fear and just charging through the smoke on Arch into that CT position, trying to cut off the rotation. Does he hit Hobbit? Apparently not, but he spots him just before he gets taken out. And now, what on earth do Gambit do? They have no presence towards Arch. We've got a wrap coming in. Somebody's in the balcony position, but he can't help his teammates because there's a smoke charging out on his own, and there's no trade. They're flying all over the place, but they're making it easy for Mo. That's a great third frag from him. The bomb's on the floor as well, and we might just be going to overtime.
It's looking very likely. Execute, he's got so much to worry about, and he can't do it. Just every single angle covered by Gambit, and the overtime is secured. Neither of these two teams really able to have that consistency that they need to take the match, and I have no idea which way this one is going to go from this point.
Okay, so they tried to That's massive from Mo. I have to say that's massive from Mo.
Beautiful
But
series of frags.
It seems that Tyloo tried to have the player jump out of the smoke from the balcony in sync with the players from Arch, who maybe just went at the. Well, no, I mean credit to Mo's positioning as well, only being exposed to one guy. But wow, that is quite the lifeline. They were in a really bad spot, but maybe there was one too many players in the Arch position. Perhaps they didn't want to have one player isolated on that short area, but here we are. Overtime, Tyloo will continue on the T side, and now I feel like the momentum's gone and everything's been reset. Not just literally, but like mentally, which is very important, especially with the start Gambit had in this half.
Double ops though, it's a bold play. Lots of money invested. Adren and Mo on those Hobbits. Once again, used to receiving all this pressure. Trying to stay alive, and they know that he's not. Are they aware he's here? He's making a lot of noise. Indeed, it does get sprayed out through the smoke, and that's a big win for Tyloo. They spent a lot of utility, but they get a kill out of it, and they've denied positioning for Gambit. They forced a rotation from Adren, so it's a 2-2 setup now for Gambit. And Tyloo, they have the run of the map if they want it.
It seems they won't completely exit the banana position, suggesting that they will be focusing towards the A site. However, look at the rotation of the CTs. Mir's making his way towards B, walking up Speedway, and Mo's gone to the Arch position, so he's in for a close rotation, and he can keep an eye on top mid as well. Dozy for two-man spray down towards Banana, though. Hasn't seen the bomb, but all of a sudden Gambit have the man advantage, and now Mo and Mir are like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, moving back towards the A site. Awkward positioning, and Mo is going to be in a very interesting position. 25 seconds on the clock. He knows somebody is in a lower ground. Hasn't been spotted by the player in the pit because of the pillar. Looking for more rotations, but as this goes on, his position may be compromised. Somebody now in the graveyard position. Spots one, taking him out, but there's another player near the smoke. 12 seconds to plant this bomb. It will be planted in cover just before the grenade comes in. Now it's Xcurat's turn to have a look. Double scoped in, they'll be exposed to the second player. Oh, that's great from Xcurat, and now Dozier's on his own, coming in from that short position, 1 versus 3. With the double AWPs bought at the beginning, you may wonder why he continued there, because they need the money. Okay, so Xcurat has really accidentally team killed his teammate.
Yeah, I guess it's not a big deal for them, but
what is a big deal is Dozier losing that M4 at the end. The 1 versus 3. When you buy 2 AWPs, you've got to think about that.
Yeah, it's true. And they've got double AWPs out again. Well, I respect it. I respect it. There's nothing left in the bank. You know, if they lose this round, that third round of this first half of overtime, it's going to be a little bit awkward. But we'll get to that when we get to it. Maybe they can avoid that situation with these 2 AWPs. I mean, if you think it's the best way for you to win the rounds, I completely agree with it. So we'll see if that's the case. Aggressive on Apartments, but no default there, really running on through for map control through apps. So Gambit will be in a position where they don't necessarily have the right men in the right place. They've got to be careful. Hobbit has to be strong on this peak if he's going to hold this angle aggressively. What's the plan here for Tyloo? They're just sitting on Banana. Gambit sitting 3 players in apps. Here comes the play into B.
The grenades are out. There's a counter grenade from the CTs, and Hobbit may just have a gap, or perhaps not. We'll soon see. Yep, spots one player going past. But the T's can't really do so much behind the smoke, unless they want to pop flash through it. Dozier choosing to hold on to his Molotov. More grenades from the CTs. Now you'll sometimes see a CT in the pool position trying to avoid any spray down. Dozier can't get any more done, but he's still alive. Hobbit taken down on the site. Quick boost from the CTs as the T's try to move forward, looking towards the construction position. Dozier's reload may take them away from looking at Adren, and there's a trade from Dozier. Works wonderfully, leaving DD alone now versus 3, and there's Mo to finish things off. 3 plays survive, so crucial for Gambit because they bought within an inch of their economy in that round. They'll pick up an AK as well, 16 apiece.
Yeah, that was a really important victory there for Gambit, avoiding a ruinous situation financially into this last run. In fact, giving themselves a good opportunity to actually go, 17 to 16, perhaps.
We are looking for the first team to 19 rounds now in overtime to take this, by the way.
Who will it be? Gambit's got Mo on that orb still. He's been dangerous. He's on 33 kills. He is top fragging on the server at the moment. And once again, he'll go aggressive as he did in the previous round in the apps. And this should surely be a frag. Very difficult to stop that. And there is the base setup. Mir gets himself one. Mo falling back to another position. Do they keep committing? Giving Mo opportunities here. And he will be able to fall back there. Will Mo into more defensible positions as Tyloo, every single push they make here, it's very laboured. Might be a pixel angle there for Adren, but he backs away. Just making it safe. Relying on his teammates, playing the setups on the site.
And they've got so much mileage out of setups, Gambit. They just stuck to that. If they were more disciplined, they may not be in overtime, but can they finish things off now? 4 versus 2 in the last round of the first half of this overtime. Now Bentet, arguably the most crucial man for Tyloo. He's got to get more than one frag. 3 players on the site. Dozier still waiting on Banana. Even if he sees a... Oh, that's not what he wanted. There's a first player. He was in position to try and creep and find out where 2 players were, but maybe his teammate peeked a bit early, trying to support Bentet. Now the double peek was ready, but it won't be needed. Gambit take a lead moving into the second half.
This is kind of a crazy game. You know, if you, depending at which point you tuned in, you feel like that, you know, for example, if you tuned in like midway through the second half, you think, okay, well, you know, Gambit winning this game. If you tuned in the first half, you think, okay, well, Tyloo definitely winning this game. Just because of the nature of how the rounds were won, was one team just looked like they were very dominant and the other team had no answer at all. But that's just sort of the nature of this particular matchup, it would appear. But Gambit now look to be good for this. I don't know if you're with me on that one, James, but you know, if I was to make a prediction, I would go Gambit, not just because they have one round in the lead.
I think the scales have slightly tipped back into their favour. I feel like they are back to normal after the mishaps, if you will. But let's see what Tyloo can do. Let's not forget, it was Tyloo who got to 10 rounds on their CT half, so if they can bring some of that essence into this half, then who knows. Again, let's not underestimate them. The T side was a struggle, but the CT side is where comfort is. It's where the plush pillows are, the silk robes, the slippers, the massage oil. Xsquirt trying to give himself a gap, and that's going to work absolute wonders. Spots the second player coming out of the boiler as well. He can alert his teammates and they can keep a focus on the A site.
It's very difficult now to move into this angle for Adren. You know, he knows that an AWP is posted up, and does he ask for a flash? You know, time is starting to run low. There is no flash. Do they just raw peek into these angles? How do you manage this? There is not really a good solution here for Gambit. Adren will use the smoke though and push forwards and just try to make something happen. If he can somehow take out one player before the main push comes in and destabilize the defense in that way, they can do this.
Oh. Is he going to trade fast enough? No, he isn't. Oh, that's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting from Xsquirt. And another headshot to finish off the job. It was so awkward for Adren because it takes a second of realization, and by that time, he's ready for his next shot. But what can you do? You've got to stop him from holding that angle. So you have to walk into the AWP.
Yeah, it's nice. Is that... wow. It's cheeky ace there from Xsquirt. And the precision that he is capable of is something to marvel at. Just headshots all around, and 17-17, and perhaps Tyloo not out of this one just yet. Xsquirt's so dangerous with the AWP, and if he starts to really put up numbers against Mo, this is going to be very interesting.
That is devastating for Gambit, devastating. And again, going back to men like to Psyche, all the players being lost to just the one from Tyloo. Can't be happy rainbow sparkle squad in the Gambit camp right now. Xsquirt holding an angle top mid on his own. The rest of the team playing at the back. So there's a lurk smoke. which we also see from Bolts. So you can look towards sight with it, can jump out into the pit as well. DD looking for something, and maybe Dozier will run distraction while his team start to charge into the A bomb site. Look at him, he's streaming in there. Bentet only good for one, but the bomb's on the site, so that's a full rotation coming in now. And DD's got plenty of smoke to play around. It works both ways, and the frags continue. He got two, and now Hobbit's alone. And there is the round for Tyloo. Match point for Tyloo.
Well, when you look at that, second op collected as well. Tyloo looking really good at this point, and DD, DD to me just like seems so reliable here for Tyloo. Just on the T side and the CT side, he's just running all over the place with the M4, with the AK. He seems, in those positions where you need someone to just break the stalemate, DD seems to be that guy every time. He'll get you the first kill, the second kill, and create the space for your team. And reminds me of Fer a little bit with that for what he's doing for Tyloo in some situations, but aggressive grenade usage there from Tyloo on Banana to try to disincentivize the Gambit side from taking position there, and they move into execute, but he misses the fragging opportunity. Maybe there's a chance in that for Gambit.
Wow, this buy is crap. This is recycling center levels of crap. See what they can do with it. They force Execute out of position. And DD's looking around, spotting a Dren now. And the smoke will give him some cover. So he manages to escape, but there are still 3 Gambit players around this A bomb site. But Hobbit's so deep towards B, maybe he thinks he's got an opening, but he doesn't really. You can see him in that corner, the side that the smoke the CTs want him to be, if he's there. And he's only got a CZ. Execute sees nothing towards the arch position. Slowly checking CT spawn, and these CTs have to do something. Bentet sees one goes to construction, but somebody's on his own. He checks. Oh, that's a great shot from somebody, and he misses the last flick, but it's a 4 versus 1. Mir's on his own, and that's a wrap. 19-17. Tyloo take Inferno away from Gambit.
Oh, what a roller coaster. So many ups and downs for both teams, but it seems as though Tyloo will be the ones to start this major off for themselves with a